This is what the future of VR looks like.
What is going on?
This is the Vive XR Elite, and it's HTC's new VR headset. I've been reviewing it for the last couple of weeks, and let me tell you right now, I love and hate this headset. But before we get into it, a quick overview. The Vive XR Elite is a standalone headset, which means you can download apps directly to the headset, just like the Quest, or it can be connected to your PC either wirelessly or with a cable, just like the Quest. Design-wise, it's a pretty small form factor. It has cameras on the front for tracking and full color pass-through, which means you can see your full environment in color. It also has a magnetic mesh inlay for your face cover, and the battery is placed at the back to keep it all balanced out. It's got speakers built in on the side and an inbuilt microphone as well. I found the area that sits above your nose to be quite tight, and it kind of felt like it was blocking my sinuses. And whenever I took the headset off my head, the faceplate would pop out. But apart from that, it's pretty comfortable, and I always struggle with comfort with VR headsets. It's more comfortable than the Quest, that's for sure.
Why you bully me?
Underneath, you have the IPD dial to adjust the lenses further or closer apart from your eyes. And then you have these really cool diopter lenses. And these are designed for people who need glasses or for people who want that extra bit of clarity. And visually, these lenses look great. The tutorial walks you through the setup process to help you get the lenses just right. And it works really well. The tutorial was very easy to follow, and I was impressed by how well the clarity looked after the setup. I feel like no matter how good a VR headset's resolution is, if you can't get the setup right, you're never gonna truly get the most out of it. And speaking of resolutions, this headset has a 3840 by 1920 combined resolution, and everything feels sharp and really comfortable to look at. But I did feel like I had some glare at times, but I have a lot of lights in here, so I'm not surprised. Another cool feature of this VR headset is the detachable battery cradle, which means you can just unplug the battery cradle and swap it out for a different one, or you can pop on the sunglasses type adapters and wear it like a pair of sunglasses. I feel like this idea is really great in theory, but for starters, I had a bunch of issues just trying to get a cable to work with this. I tried all my usual cables that I use with my Quest, but unfortunately none of them worked, but I did eventually find one, and when I did plug it in, I found it way down the headset on the right side, and it kind of just felt lopsided, which wasn't too comfortable. I'm pretty sure you can use it with the battery pack plugged in while plugged into your PC, but it's a shame this really cool feature isn't a little bit more comfortable. When using the XR Elite, the home environment is really nice. It kind of has these watercolor clouds with these nice whales floating around everywhere. And all the menus just kind of mimic the Quest menus, but worse. But anyway, I like that the menu was similar because I kind of already knew my way around. Although some features that just weren't user-friendly or were just plain missing. Say for example, it kept centering my play space in a totally different spot to where I was standing, and I could not for the life of me work out how to recenter it. I recalibrated many times, and I like to think I'm a somewhat experienced VR user, but I could just not get the menu to move to where I was standing. On your Quest, you just hold down the Oculus button to move it, but there was no such thing. In terms of the apps library, it's pretty slim. Now this headset has just launched, so you can't expect too many games, but still, there wasn't a great library. I definitely don't think there were any must-buy games in this headset, but I still had lots of fun checking out some of the games that were available, like Maestro. This is like a music conducting game, and I absolutely love this game. It uses hand tracking and a controller, and you get to conduct an orchestra. I can't wait for the full version of this game because I had so much fun with it. I then jumped into some Google Tilt Brush, which uses the full color pass-through, and it kind of gave my office a bit of a makeover. If you haven't tried full color pass-through yet, it is one of those wow features in VR. Like, it's been a while since I have been wowed with VR, but trying full color pass-through is such a cool feature. I think it's going to be such a big part of VR in the future. There's not a lot of apps that support this feature yet, but it's quickly becoming my favorite feature for VR games.
What the hell? What the hell? It's a self-cleaning toilet. Yucky.
But then I tried to connect it wirelessly to my PC. This took me a long time. It took me a long time because I couldn't work out how to do it. There were no instructions anywhere. I eventually learned that you had to download an app to your PC, but good luck trying to download it. I could not find the download file anywhere. I found all these help articles that talked about the program, but no download links. Eventually, after scouring the internet, I did find the Streaming Hub software, and then it kept crashing. At this point, I was ready to give up on this review because I just had so many issues trying to get it to work, but eventually, I was able to connect. And it does so via this really cool QR code via pass-through, which I thought was really neat. And I was able to access my whole Steam VR library natively within the XR Elite. There were no clinky external launch programs like Oculus Home or Virtual Desktop. It was just all there in my games library, ready to be launched. And it ran pretty seamlessly. I was pretty shocked. In the Stream Hub settings, you're able to adjust your bitrate and everything, so depending on your PC setup and your internet connection, you'll need to adjust this to what works for you. But I did test out some Half-Life Alyx, and this game looks so great on the headset. I did have a bit of latency issues, but again, that's probably my PC or Wi-Fi setup. It's kind of hard to know what the cause is sometimes. A cool feature I did discover though is that the microphone works wirelessly with your PC. So I was able to output my microphone audio to my recording software and capture all my microphone audio. And the microphone is pretty decent. Like, it's not great, but definitely enough if you're a content creator and wanted to use it as a main microphone. It looks pretty good when I'm stationary, but when I move around a bit, it gets a bit jittery. I then jumped into some Gorilla Tag because why not? And of course, I'm still pretty terrible at this game. But I heard a rumor that this headset allows you to use hand tracking in PC VR games. So of course, I had to test out hand tracking in Gorilla Tag. And it didn't work great, but it was still kind of fun. This feature may not work well for games like Gorilla Tag, but for games like VR Chat or something that can add plugins, I think this could be a really cool feature for people who want that extra immersion or for things like sign language. I then, of course, tried some Beat Saber. And it worked pretty well. I definitely had some latency issues again running this stuff wirelessly, but the tracking was okay. I think it was pretty decent in the grand scheme of things. There were no like crazy moments where I just lost tracking randomly. It was only when it was like outside the field of view of the tracking that I lost it a bit. And in really fast sections, I think it lost it a little bit, but that could be more of a latency issue. Ultimately, if you're going to compare this headset to the Quest Pro, the Quest Pro is always going to win in terms of tracking. The Quest Pro controllers have cameras in the controllers itself, so its tracking is going to be a lot more improved. So if you're looking for a headset just to play Beat Saber, that's something to consider. I then tried to play some other VR games. I tested the games Burn It With Fire and Paradiddle, and the controllers wouldn't work. In both games, the analog stick wouldn't respond. I tried to go in the Steam settings to try the layout, but no such luck. This was not good. To be fair, this headset has just come out, so maybe HTC or the game developers need to release some updates to improve compatibility. In conclusion, it's hard to recommend this VR headset in its current state. I feel like the hardware is pretty solid. It's light and comfortable, and visually it looks great. The diopter feature is great for those who want some extra clarity, and the full color pass-through just looks amazing. But the lack of content and software issues really lets it down. But the good thing is, these are all things that can be fixed. If HTC is truly dedicated to supporting gaming consumers and they really refine the software and the games library, I think this could be a really good headset. Of course, it's still pretty expensive. It's $1,099 USD if you want to pick one of these guys up. Ultimately, if you were considering this headset, it's a competition between this headset and the Quest Pro. And in terms of games library and ease of use, I think the Quest Pro wins currently, but I'm really hoping in time we'll see a price drop with these headsets and that the XR Elite software issues will be ironed out. So for now, I think this is a headset to really keep your eye on, because I really believe the HTC can be a great competitor in the VR space once again. That pretty much wraps it up for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of this headset, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!